I always get a kick out of saying the Real Ted G podcast, or maybe even just the Real Ted G, because I'm always wondering what the fake Ted G is doing.
He'll be here someday. It'll be great.
Yeah. So welcome back. We're still filming episodes because, do what you say and say what you... whatever. So anyway, so Michael, you're here, and my posture is staying very good. Otherwise, I'm going to be in your camera angle.
Don't move.
Don't move. There was a movie like that. Don't move. Don't talk. There's a lot of movies like that. Don't do this. Don't go to sleep. Oh,
The Quiet Place was last.
Yeah, The Quiet Place. Don't. And the bird cage.
I didn't see that.
I believe it's the Bird Box.
Bird Box, yeah.
The Bird Box, which was
Bird
the prequel to the Bird
very
Cage.
different movie.
Yeah, it's a prequel.
Yeah.
Much like I just realized the Fantastic Beasts movies are a Harry Potter prequel.
I can't believe you didn't know that.
I probably knew it when I was watching them, but I go through things so intensely when I watch a film or a Netflix series that I think that I probably don't retain as much information as I could. So welcome to the podcast. Welcome back to the podcast.
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, this is the week after Thanksgiving, so I'm sure everyone's feeling the tryptophan high and the gratefulness. Everyone's grateful, especially on Thanksgiving.
Grateful on Thanksgiving? How grateful did you get?
Year round. So
no, but how grateful did you get on Thanksgiving? Like, did you get extra grateful?
No. I actually love Thanksgiving. I really do love Thanksgiving as a holiday. It's very lacking of pressure, if you got gifts, if you got the right gifts, if everyone's going to be happy.
All right.
Like now comes Christmas and it's like, okay, what do you get the agents? It kind of has to be, a gift of it almost has to be the same for everyone.
Ted, what'd you get me?
What did I get?
On, no spoilers. No spoilers. I don't want.
I could tell you what I got in the past. So anyway, but back to Thanksgiving. I like to believe that I'm grateful all year round, and I think that that's the best way to be. And this is like we had an agent who always said, New Year's Day, there's so many expired listings in the past and even in now. And, you'd say, oh, what are you doing on New Year's Day? Are you prospecting expired like all the rest of us? And I said, Honey Bunch. I prospect
Honey Bunch.
It was 10 years ago. Honey Bunch. I prospect every other day of the year, so I don't have to prospect on New Year's. Incidentally, my birthday.
Is that your birthday, really?
It's my actual birthday.
No.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. 89 birthdays later. 189. Yeah, no, I did say that. And my boss was there to witness it. And I was like, I do that. I work the rest of the year, so I don't have to work those days.
Do you put up stats every year, like where you know exactly what you did that year, and you keep track as far as I went to the gym this many times, and like do you keep score?
Well, so I'm glad you asked that, because no, I did not. Although I feel like I do keep score in the back of my head in general, like how many listings did I take or how many sales did I make, and it's nice. Technology has actually quantified everything for us.
Sure.
My gym membership comes with an app for me to sign into certain classes.
So you can shame yourself a little bit.
No, well,
no, not you. I would be shaming myself. I wouldn't.
Well, you could look at the glasses half empty or half full.
I'm the guy who doesn't go.
I look at my app and it says, classes taken 592.
Nuh-uh.
So I'm almost at 600. Now, I think I joined the gym 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I believe. In October. So
way to go. So I like to donate to causes like LA Fitness, Planet Fitness.
Wouldn't it be great if you also knew that membership also donated something to charity?
Oh my God. I feel like I am making a donation, but it's just to the gym.
I defaulted on my crazy lifetime membership at Bally's 25 or 30 years ago. Yeah.
You had a lifetime membership?
Lifetime membership. So
do they still do that?
I bet you if I paid them the $2,000 I owed them at the time. This is many years ago. Now I pay way more. My gym. Yeah. I love the gym I go to. It's the Orange Theory process, Orange Theory Fitness. And it's a nice boutique style gym, but I like it. And I love the quantitativeness of it. They actually do measure, you have to wear a heart rate because they didn't take my word for it.
Well, yes. I feel like this is actually a perfect segue into our fourth topic.
Let's just go right to number 4. Great. The 2 viewers are going to love it. Yeah. Well, actually, it is a great segue to the number 4 topic. Yeah. So our 4th topic is self-help versus self-hope.
Okay, sure.
Is that correct?
Yeah, no, that's what you said, right?
Yes, I said, because
I've got self-hope. You've got self-help.
everyone I think has self-hope. Self-hope is a lot like, what is it? A dream is just a dream, but a goal actually sets timelines, and you actually have to attempt to fulfill it. We talked about going to the gym or doing one thing to change your life, because speaking of, it's the end of the year. Everyone does New Year's resolutions.
Do you do one one very specific every year? Are you?
No, I do resolutions all year long, so I don't have to do it on that one day. I'm going to keep using that answer now.
That's a good callback. That's pretty deep.
Yeah, honey bunch. I do it. I resolve all year long, so I don't have to resolve anything on New Year's Day.
Are you going to start calling me Honey Bunch? All right.
I wonder if I can get away with calling everyone Honey Bunch.
Everybody.
Nah, Honey Bunch. Honey Bunch.
Attorneys will love that.
I think attorneys would love that.
I think clients are going to like that too.
I think, well, speaking of self-help and self-hope, we can hope to have a better year, have a great year, have a dynamite year. And that's great. It's 100% beautiful to feel that way. And I hope I can save the world next year. I hope that I can end world hunger. What am I going to do? Self-help is when you actually go to put the plan in place to go ahead and say, okay, well, how would I don't know. It'd be awesome to solve world hunger. I don't think I can do it. Oprah might, someone like Oprah, that she could probably do it. So how would you go about it? So now let's go back to our level of expertise, which is real estate. And, let's pretend you set your goal. Go ahead. Last week we did the back 9.
Set my goal. Okay.
Yeah, set goals. Do we have it could be a monetary goal, but a lot of times it's a lot easier. I think it's a more achievable goal is when you make it something that's visual. So if it's owning a second home, owning a vacation home, it's so much more visual. A lot of agents always set goals, and actually, I love my track record. I can actually say that I've had agents sit not in that seat because I didn't get these couches until recently. I've had to say, I want to buy my first house, and we'll set it up. Now, did we set a plan we teach goal setting, and did we sit down and say, that's the most important thing to you? What are you going to do to get it done? Yes and no. The plan gets set in my head, so I know that I have to remind that agent we have to work. And then the moment you start visualizing it, I had an agent who said they wanted a boat. They got a new boat. I had an agent who said she wanted to buy a brand new truck for her husband. She bought a brand new truck for her husband. So I love that. I love it, and I do it on some other different levels for myself. But again, I think when it's visual, a lot of agents say, I want to put away money for college funds, obviously at these prices today. So that, so I know you have two kids. So you're going to think of that. But if it was
you're talking little finish lines along the way.
Yeah, but the big goal for a year has to be something, is it a trip to Hawaii? Is it, I had an agent who took the whole family to Disney. What's the bigger one? World. Yes. Yeah. So, and set, visualize. I don't want to say set it and forget it, but if you're constantly staring at your goal, you will achieve it. So you don't have to do it on camera. You don't have to say it.
So no, I mean, it comes down to motivation, and my motivation. I think the two things. The one, the personal one. My wife worked really, really hard, always very independent from a young age, worked her ass off, and then even was supporting our whole family at one point. And being a stay-at-home dad, and, now transitioning into full time, it was real estate was something I was doing on the side for a bit. Now my motivation, I want to be able to make her life easier and give her some, just a little freedom to, figure out, you worked so hard this whole time, you never figured out, what do you want to do? And to be able to give her that freedom, that's very motivating. Obviously the kids are very motivating, all of that, but also I'd love to be known as somebody who genuinely helps people. because what we do is can be very emotional. It's usually indicates a big life change if you're buying or selling a house. Like it's, people, these are
my favorite Whitney Houston song is so emotional because I actually lack them. I lack emotions of all kinds, and I love that song.
How does that work with you? So much of our job is bedside manner, like almost all of it, like almost the whole job is bedside manner. Is like,
I don't get into bed. That's rule number 2. No kissing on the lips. Okay. Everyone knows this. Anyone who's watched Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
So when I train agents, I do emphasize that topic. No kissing on the lips. It can't be personal because it is emotional to them. So it's no good if we get to see really great stuff. People buying their dream house, people selling their house for more money than they thought they could, and people making, let's pretend their dreams come true, buying their first house, buying their third house. So we get to see all the good stuff too, but we also get to see a buyer losing out on a house. Unfortunately, turn of events from 10, 15 years ago, sellers losing their house. Sellers going into foreclosure. So sellers just avoiding foreclosure. So, and if they're crying and they're sad and they're depressed, I don't think it would do them any good if I was crying and I was sad and I was depressed.
Okay, sure.
Not that I go in there with birthday cake and like, hey, you're losing your house today, yay! One of my clients is evicting the occupant of a house probably on Christmas. It won't be Christmas Eve, but definitely will be that week.
To the horrible.
And again, shit. But it is a sad state of events when an occupant who is technically related is sitting in a house for more than 7 years.
Okay.
With plenty of opportunities. And as horrible as it sounds, my client, the process she went through, the time she devoted to getting this process done, I am kind of relishing in the fact that she is succeeding.
Okay.
And then we'll sell the house for top dollar and she'll be really happy. But back to, so emotional. My favorite Whitney Houston song. And I do like them, but I like emotions in regular life too. So I'm not, it's nothing special for real estate. It's just that it just translates well where, and this goes for our own problems. And we are totally on topic number 4. We're going to backtrack. Yeah. Self-help and self-hope.
Yeah.
Self-help. One of the best lessons I've learned is our own topics, our own, I don't know, let's see. I'm not going to see. I don't make it personal. So please, the likelihood of me saying something personal on camera is going to be
It is very funny how different we are as agents, though, in certain ways. As people, but how that translates also to what we do.
Yeah, and so I found the success.
I need a little bit more of what you do. I think you could use a little bit more of what I do.
I could care. I don't want to, but I could.
No, you're obviously doing something right here, Ted.
Someone did say that I have the detachment gene, and I kind of enjoy it.
But I think that's in a good, healthy way. So.
Yeah, back to self-help and self-hope.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing. One of the best lessons I've learned in terms of problem solving is deal with the problem in a specific time. All the time. Don't let the problem deal with you all throughout your time. So if I'm in the office and I'm there to, whether it's servicing a client, getting the job done for a client, getting the job done for an agent. They have a goal, they have an issue, they have a concern. Let's problem solve and figure it out. If that's what I'm there for, that's what I have to do while I'm there. It's not my problems, whether or not it's maybe a relationship problem. Relationships, detachment. But that's not what should consume me. So I have the detachment gene where it's like, great, this is what I'm going to deal with. And I learned that lesson when I had, different types of problems, whether they were financial or goal setting or something wasn't going the way I wanted it to go.
I've also seen you go, that problem is not going to become my problem right now. That person's problem, and it's amazing. Like, it's like to be the way that you are able to, and it's detaching in a healthy way. It's,
yes, I don't believe I'm ever mean.
No, never like that. What I mean,
And in fact, in that moment, I actually specifically try not to be funny. Because my funny is mean.
No, yeah, I didn't think it was mean. It was more like you needed to look out for what needed your attention at that moment. And we will get to this thing when we get to this thing and when we get to that thing. And it was just, you were very structured it was a healthy thing. And I looked at it where I was like, oh man, I could take a note from that and not internalize the problems when they happen or make them, you know.
You ever watch like TV shows where someone's having a baby?
Sure.
And you know the episode always has to be, you know, oh, my water broke, and then everybody has to run around
we're
like
stuck
crazy.
in an elevator now, and yeah.
I actually have never ever. I'm trying to. No one has ever had a baby like in front of me. Like, oh, I'm having a baby. Oh, I guess you should go to the hospital. But that would be exactly what I would say if my floor got wet. I'm not going to worry about cleaning up the mess or getting. I'm just going to say, ooh. You better get yourself to a hospital. Whether or not I drive them is a different story. but yes, I'd be the person that says, sounds like we should call an ambulance. So like it's not, you don't go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when a seller says, I have a seller, a client, really nice kids, the great little kids, got their first house, but now they want to make a change in their life. And it's like, Ted, we have to sell by December 11th. I said, it's December 1st.
Yeah.
So then I guess the suggestion was, well, then we would lower our price in order to get activity and an offer in hand.
Urgency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
make the buyers move with urgency too. And that
also has to do with what is the problem that we're solving. So the good news is about these kids, and they are kids, they're in their 20s. So I get to call them kids, I have 100 years on them. And they told me, they did, it's nice when a client confides. And I think that's the best gift. That's the best gift an agent can have. If it's not a trick, you don't want to do it because you gain anything, but it's amazing. It's really nice when they just confide and said, we're looking to have a baby. And so they want to plan life ahead. So that's one of the reasons that they're making this change and this move. So it's nice to see what I mean about goals. So see, they're not looking at a closing date as their goal. They're looking at, a little baby.
It's also a huge life change.
A little baby.
Yeah,
baby. The only thing I miss about having babies is the tax write-off.
All right. So right now, what are your short-term or long-term personal or career goals? And are you doing anything as far as you're saying one thing at a time?
Yes. Well, I think I'm assuming you witnessed it.
What do you have?
Here's my goal. Business goals would always be to do better than the year before.
Okay.
And it's going to be a tough act to follow as an office, as an individual as well. But I'd like to set goals like double up. So it's like. And to think that's the best, smartest way for me to scale, to scale, to say, let's hit 7 figures. That might be, I'd rather start with double everything that happened in the year 2024. Let's double it. So you've witnessed it. What did I do? So I don't have one agent that has a great systems in place, great mailing campaigns, great, I don't know, what's the word, infrastructure. She's been in the business 27 years, and she just has great systems, and she just has a great plan, great business plan associated with it. So what do we do? How do we double it? We get another agent or team and repeat. So do I think that production-wise, we will double in the year 2025? I think so. All different factors, because I think that doubling is the financial goal. So we may not necessarily double in number of transactions. We may actually double in income produced, and we've already taken steps to do that. The reason we were 5,000 calendars deep in the last 3 or 4 weeks. We did our calendars, and we did some of the agents followed up with their clients and delivered pies. Some of the agents are going to probably follow another plan that I have around Christmas time. I try to get to my clients and deliver a little spirit of the holiday, a wine bottle with my label on it. Wait till you see the labels this year.
You're doing very in-person, boots on the ground.
That's what makes it hard to double.
Yeah.
Like you can only see so many people. Like, I think one year I delivered, I know I ordered 100. So I think I delivered 80 bottles of wine. Oh. This year I'll have a little help. This year I had a little help with the pies. I'm going to have a little help. So I'm going to cover more ground because unlike pies, wine doesn't go bad. Right. Wine gets better with age.
It's true. So what are you changing? Is it literally just to doubling like if I sent this many calendars, I'm sending that many next year? That's
exactly what we did.
Okay.
If I sent in the past about 400 to 500 calendars out, well, this year I didn't really just double. I think I sent out about 2,000. Okay. And agents that didn't send any calendars out last year, they sent out 400. So we're on track, and that's a very comfortable feeling. And so anyway, back to self-help and self-hope. Mm-hmm. We don't want to just sit there and say we're going to hit this goal. And I've done this in the past with my entire office, where we set almost an unbelievable goal. By unbelievable, I mean we added a 0 to our production. And didn't take away a decimal point, we added it. So instead of, let's pretend, easy math, 300,000, we said this year we're going to do 3 million. Wow. And guess what? We didn't do 3 million. We did 2.8. so we set what we should call an unreal, we set an extravagant goal. That's what you should do.
Extravagant.
Because even if you miss the target, and go over it, that's amazing. If you miss the target and go slightly under it, it's still amazing because you set the goal nice and high. So anyway, back to self-help and self-hope. Self-help is doing the little things that have to get done to achieve your goal. So if it's peel stick calendars because you didn't do them in the past, figure out different ways to get the job done. You figure it out. Self-hope is setting a goal and just forgetting about it and never doing anything to assist in it.
Right. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to be, way less self-hope and more self-help these days. So, the little things personally that I'm trying to change, even just, eating better.
I'll give you an example. Yes,
exercise,
eating better. Well, here's eating
less
better.
Alcohol.
Well, let's take eating better as the example, or dieting, because I got to lose 15 pounds somehow. So you can go to the grocery store, buy all organic, all vegetables, all celery sticks, and all apples and everything, right? And throw away all your food. All that means you're going to go to McDonald's at some point. So, or you could do one replacement activity that pays dividends. For instance, if I feel, I don't care what other people say, if I feel I'm drinking too much, I could stop drinking, and that's great. That definitely will benefit. But imagine if I not only stop drinking, but replace that activity with hydrating. Right. So now I add an element that our body needs, half our body weight in ounces a day of water. And I was so good at it at a certain point, but I realized I also replaced the alcohol with all that water, it paid out dividends. So that's what I mean by replacing the activity. Let's pretend someone says, I watch, what is that thing on your phone? TikTok?
Yeah.
TikTok, and you go down the rabbit hole of all the scrolling. Okay.
Yeah.
And if and there is scientific evidence that proves that it does mush your brain. Mm-hmm. If you know that that's a negative impacting activity, and you just took that out, that's a benefit in itself.
Yeah.
Imagine though those 20 minutes, and I wish I could say that I'm doing this right now. I try not to scroll, mm-hmm. but I haven't replaced that activity with, let's pretend, reading a book, or reading an art. I try to at least once a week read some kind of information on the industry. So that is the replacement effect, where it just pays out dividends. Another small thing someone can do is stop watching the news. And let's pretend instead of, and now you replace that activity with, reading up on, different ways to positively impact your brain. And then here's a really small one that I've done myself. Imagine taking 1 month, and instead of parking your car the way most people, you go into your driveway and you just zoom right in, and then you're ready. The next morning you get out for work, you get in the car and you reverse.
Yeah.
Well, that reverse effect impacts your brain. And I found this to be true, you can have a much more positive outlook on your day if you actually back your car into your driveway and then forward out every morning.
Interesting.
You're moving forward.
Yeah.
This is all like crazy, weird cultural stuff. So Greeks, we can't eat poultry on like New Year's Day. And I can't because it's a religious thing. But we don't believe
you don't do on New Year's Day, apparently.
But like on New Year's Day of all days, because it's the beginning of the year, the most, it's like the day everyone has such renewal. So on New Year's Day of all days, we usually have lamb. And that's because we're Greek. But it has to be, if you're going to eat meat or an animal, it can't be an animal like poultry that walks backwards. It doesn't necessarily walk backwards, but if you ever looked at a chicken walking, it looks like their legs are moving backwards, but they're actually moving forward, like those fancy rims or hubcaps that you see on some cars. So that's poultry. So a turkey or a chicken would walk backwards. You don't want to walk backwards on the New Year. So you have to eat an animal that walks forward. Not dog.
I've never heard of that before.
You don't have a dog, even though it walks forward. That's not good.
Yeah.
Lamb.
Don't eat the dog.
Yeah. And then again, if you don't want to eat meat, don't eat meat. That's even better.
Wow.
Anyway, so even that's where I get the car thing from.
I like the
going out and forward. And I had agents do it. We did it as a meeting, and instead of we gave 7 or 8 examples of how you can change. Start your goal setting and change your mindset immediately, right? And instead of picking all 7, that's a lot to remember. Park my car that way. Move forward in the morning. Okay, drink more water. Then somehow you're gonna crash the car and pee on yourself. It's gonna happen all at the same time. So instead, just do one thing at a time. Stop watching the news. I think that makes the most impact. I think the most impact I have on my life is that I stop watching.
That's a tough one for me, for sure.
Stop scrolling.
That's one where it was, at one point my wife was like, I need you to stop watching the news. And I was like, okay. So I get it. And I do understand how that's a much more positive thing. Stay informed. But as far as all the time, just like every day, all day, it's on, and it's not healthy.
There is a such thing as too much of a bad thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's our podcast. Self-help versus self-hope. I can't even remember the words.
Yeah.
But it's little techniques to brainwash yourself into hopefully being a better version of yourself.
What are we doing this week? Give me one thing. So I'm already parking my car, but because that's where the charger is.
I'm drinking more water.
You're drinking more water. Okay. I saw you wrote down something about answering every phone call when it rings, right?
Oh yeah. You don't have to answer every phone call when it rings. You can. How about just answer your phone once in a while? Okay. And I understand today's technology. It's great. I see when it's a spam call or it's a telemarketer.
You get the bloop when you answer the phone, and you just know that it's a spam call.
No, mine says it.
Yeah, but sometimes, every time an agent calls me, it says like Brentwood is calling. But sometimes when I answer that call, you hear, right? Yeah. You hear, and you know that it's a spam call when you hear that.
I'll have to pay attention.
Yeah.
But yes, the reason I say answer your phone, it's not because it's gonna. There's a reason I wrote that down. Imagine if you just started answering your phone or returning phone calls in a timely manner instead of, I'll return your phone call within 24 hours.
Right.
All right. I've answered the phone where the person on the other line is a possible client, possible customer, and their first reaction is, oh, I can't believe you answered the phone.
Yeah.
I said, my reaction is, I can't believe I answered it either, because I think I've gotten 65 phone calls this day. And this is true. So if I can answer my phone, guess what?
Yeah.
Any other fucking agent out there can answer their phone.
Absolutely.
Trust me. And
there's something but dealing with things as they arise, you're not creating a to-do list for yourself later. You're dealing with it as it comes up.
Don't let the
no
text
longer
messages go, 65 text messages to return or not return.
Yeah.
So yeah, even if you just make it a point to say, because that'll also clear your mind when you look at your phone and you don't have 32 voicemails that have been left.
For sure.
So pick a time and, return calls, or just take them as they come. And the reaction is well worth it, because I think that leads to more business, because we're in a relationship business and no one wants to be in a relationship with a depressed person.
Yeah.
They want to be in a relationship with someone who's happy, maybe not so much happy-go-lucky, but maybe just happy, pleasant, and
participating in society,
and a real problem solver. In our business, I know that a very, very, very good speaker, he's probably the number one trainer in the nation, I think, Tom Ferry, he always said, he was at a seminar, and he actually partnered with me because we ran out of people or something. But I remember that seminar. It was beautiful. It was just so fun to watch, because what he said to another agent who said, it's always this, or like they felt like they weren't getting compensated enough or something. And he said, listen, in this business, your income is directly affected by the number of problems you solved. And then I thought about it and I said, holy shit, that's why I'm making so much money.
Wow.
No, I'm not making that much money. Yeah. That was the year we totally hit our crazy goal.
That's
I was like, and yes, we solved a lot of problems.
Not bad.
So self-help versus self-hope. Do one thing. You're parking your car in reverse.
Yes.
And you're coming to the office forward.
Yeah.
You're taking on your day, moving forward.
Yeah.
And you're going to do it more often. Because guess what? By parking the car in reverse and knowing that you're supposed to go out to your day, to the office, to the work, you're actually automatically planting the seed to go to work.
It's true.
The next day. My car's not parked like that because,
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's true.
So self-help versus self-hope.
Do you, other than New Year's Day, do you clock out? Do you have times or days where you're like unreachable?
I clocked out 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
I do like those holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like that topic too. Clocking out. Clocking out. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I enjoy the Friday after Thanksgiving because everyone thinks you're off. So no one really bothers you or calls you.
Yeah.
I do enjoy those. New Year's Day is great. Technically, New Year's Day, you end up with all those texts for happy birthday too.
There you go.
Yeah. So, well, that's the podcast, self-help versus self-hope. And hopefully you're tuning in for a couple of other things.